I'd like to say that I think that we're on the eve of something that's going to make the Industrial Revolution look like a small-town tryout out of town. And I'm talking about the communications revolution. I think it's coming very quickly, and that the movies of the 80s are going to be amazing beyond what any of you can dream, just a couple of years away from now.
My recollection of the reaction at the time was that a lot of filmmakers who were still making films in the traditional way, and this was 1980, and the traditional way had been going on since the beginning of sound filmmaking, and even before then, just sort of snickered at us and said, you guys are crazy, and they said Francis has got, science fiction on his mind.
I don't think anyone believes me when I say that electronics can change the business or production.
If you engage in a longer conversation with people, they'd say, okay, fine, at some point in the future, I'll be able to go out with a little electronic camera with a floppy disk in it, and I'll be able to make a movie, but that's so far in the future, it's not even worth thinking about.
I was watching the Academy Awards. I was on a different career path. I was actually studying to be a dentist.
I see a communications revolution that is about movies and art and music and digital electronics and computers and satellites and, above all, human talent.
I stopped dead in my tracks. Went to my parents and said, I want to be a filmmaker. And I tie it directly to that speech, directly to that moment.
It's called electronic cinema because Francis at the time thought that the future of filmmaking would not be filmmaking, but electronic cinema making. In other words, images would be created and edited and distributed electronically, which is getting almost to be the case now, 23 years later. In 1980, the filmmaking process was photomechanical. Francis was literally the only person to take the electronic technology that existed and put it to use to make films. Even the personal computer, which we all use and take for granted now, was not part of everybody's work process at the time. The whole concept of word processing did not exist.
Today, it's standard practice for filmmakers to use electronic pre-visualization, storyboarding their scenes, to be able to take portable digital nonlinear editing systems on location, and for directors to be seeing edited versions of their scenes while they're still on location shooting. None of that was standard procedure before. One from the Heart changed all of that. It was as if this great experiment was happening in the Silverfish, and what did Francis know that none of the rest of us knew?
The Silverfish was an Airstream motor coach that had been equipped with what at the time was a state-of-the-art half-inch video editing system. Editors would pick up film and go, I never want to, I always want to be able to feel the film. I want to hold it up to the light and see the image. And people felt threatened by the possibility that the process could change so much.
That's what the Airstream does. I'll be in there some of the time, being able to see the work as though I were the audience. It's a video control room through a very fine intercom system which comes with the truck.
Image control, you with me on this?
We're able to say what we want and then a shot be designed to full that purpose. So that at the end of each day, we not have only shot the scene, we've also edited it.
We have a total communication with the set, a total communication with the actors.
Oh no, it was my idea. I don't know.
There was a lot of discussion at the time about how it would affect the movie, that the director was not always present on the set.
Francis, can you hear me?
It would be easy to say, oh, well, Francis retreated to this mobile home and he didn't have contact with the actors, but that's not really true. He'd bring them into the mobile home, they'd have very private discussions. There was sometimes a good way to talk with an actor, and he'd come out on the set. It wasn't as if he was cut off, but it made for a different kind of actor-director relationship.
You make it a little more Italian.
We got a hold of a device called the Ultimat, which was a video composite device that allowed you to take a shot of someone, an actor, in front of a blue screen, and then shoot a background and put them together.
Now we have almost a whole library of the actors, so anytime we want to stick the actor in front of an imaginary set, we can do that.
The great thing about it was you could see this immediately. In those days, if you did that kind of shot on film, you'd have to wait for the footage to come back from the lab before you saw if it was even going to work.
It's a high wire act.
Yeah, right. Love is a high wire act, especially with this guy.
Vittorio had an elaborate concept of how the colors related to emotions.
Give the kind of sense of color around each single scene that respect the kind of emotional state of the protagonist.
The concepts weren't the ones that you're used to. You wouldn't say, like, red means angry, green means jealous. No, 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 no.
The green light is jealousy.
He knew what he was doing, both with color and light intensity and saturation, and was playing with that throughout.
Everything's through control of console dimmer. Let's see it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's the baby.
We fell in love, you see.
Vittorio used a lighting board that was imported from theater, and it allowed for a great deal of flexibility. You'll see that elaborate lighting cues are being performed that couldn't be done just by a bunch of electricians flicking switches on and off. There's a guy on a dimmer board actually, sliding one light on and the other light off.
We can put 1,000 different lighting patterns into the memory and call forth any one of those lighting patterns we need. Totally computerized.
Like a dream.
In-camera lighting fades. The idea of having a lighting board and controlling all of the lighting in shot.
You bought it.
It wasn't about creating the illusion of reality. It was, in fact, celebrating the artificial heightened language of telling the story. There's that sequence in the mirror.
What are you looking at so hard, honey?
Seeing light fades and light pickups and lighting cues that are absolutely theatrical, but within the cinematic language.
Big deal.
This is a very idealized reality, this movie. So that in general, when in doubt, if you're sitting there and you have to make a choice, should something be beautiful or should it be realistic? Make it beautiful.
The conception of the movie was that it would be like live television or like theater, but beautifully filmed.
Okay, come on, bring it down, guys.
Gonna do this other shot?
I don't know. Now we are trying to still keep the information on negative, but having a video camera attachment on the movie camera.
The tape will be gotten through the movie cameras.
Okay, let's stand by for picture.
Now we're using videotape as a communication to everybody. There's probably 6 areas on this lot that you can walk into a room and there's somebody watching the set that has to know what's going on.
Yeah, Francis. Very quiet picture. Francis, as far as I know, was the first director to use the video assist that was available at the time, and not just watch it while the shooting was going on, but also record it and edit it. So he could be editing his show as he was shooting. That's something nobody had done.
We can have an image that can help to us to know right away what we're doing.
Cut!
That is a very, very good help, how the image is being formed.
The truth of the matter is it is too rushed. It is really, it's a wonderful situation that could sustain whatever you guys do,
The legacy of One from the Heart is that it moved ahead the technology, and it also enabled more people to become filmmakers. The electronic filmmaking future that Francis foretold is upon us.
What's exciting to me is not just to make an electronic cinema, which can do everything that the traditional cinema can do. It's that the electronic cinema can get into the areas of imagination way beyond, you can do anything. And not only can you do anything, you can spread it throughout the world.